Okay, hi guys, this is just to go through very quickly how to make a very simple loop with Scratch. So I'm using the online one. We've got a series of different menus in here that we can take a look at. And the one we're interested in, first of all, is control. So there's different types of iterative structures in here, but I'm going to go for the one which is repeat until. And I'm using that because our loop has to um, count from 1 to 7 and then do some mathematics with that. So the key thing I need to get this loop working is a variable that's going to be like an iterator that's going to allow me to count. And so if we go to data, make a variable, and I'm going to call it counter, leave the other sprites of these animation things here, we don't need to worry too much about that. So we've now got a variable called counter, and what I need to do is to give it a value to begin with, and I'm actually going to set it to 1 to begin with. And again, this is in response to our specific problem where we are multiplying values from 1 to 7. So I'm going to start from 1. I can drag this little piece down and it will snap into place. And then in here, in this little space here, we need a condition. The loop is going to keep repeating until this condition is satisfied. And to do that, we need an operator. And we can grab an operator from here and then go back to our data. And we're going to drop counter into this space. And I'm going to put a number 7 in there. And when I've got that, I can drag it. And it's a bit difficult to see, but there you go. It highlights. I've never really used Scratch before, so I've only just really worked this out. So then what we need to make sure we do is that each time we run through our loop, that the value for counter goes up by 1. So what we can do is we can use this piece here. So every time we run the loop, we're going to change counter by 1. And by creating that variable, you can see here's counter over here. So we just need a way to start this loop off. And if we go to events, and this one here, when the green flag is clicked, we're going to start the event. So we should hopefully, if this is right, we should see now counter going up by 1 each time. We should see straight away it will change to 1, and then we'll go into the loop, and we can set the little cat to help us understand it. So let's just run it first of all. So it's so fast that it just goes straight from 0 to 1. So let's use the little cat, and so we can do, I think in motion, no, looks, we can have him say something. So if we use this one here, so let's drop this in, we can squeeze that into there, and we can get him to say what the value of counter is. And to do that, we can use an operator, and actually we can just drop the value of counter in here. So he's going to say what the value of counter is for half a second, and then I think we can copy that. Let's just grab another one. So in looks, say the value of counter for 0.5 seconds. So let's just try running that. So hopefully we'll be able to see the little cat counting up, and then the loop stops. So that's a bit easier to see. So making the system pauses for half a second tells us what the value of counter is. If we want to be really clever and get the little cat to say we're going to have them say the value of counter is, and if we put counter in there, and so we can have that in, oh, I have to make it twice. Let's just pull it out. If I right click and then duplicate, I get copies of that. Let's see if I can copy the text, paste it in here. So now let's see, you should say the value of counter is, and he counts up to 7. So that's how to set up the little loop. Now obviously we also need some other things in there according to, we've got to do some mathematics. So yeah, that hopefully helps get started with making a loop.